Good morning, everyone.
Hello, everybody.
This week we have our first retreatant on a 7-day quiet retreat here at the Restory at Tafelkop.
Yeah, and we can actually not believe that we are ready to receive somebody here.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks ago, that would not have been possible, but things are moving along so quickly and nicely with the renovations. We don't have the full facilities yet, but enough so that we can actually accommodate somebody quite comfortably. So we are very grateful for that. Yeah.
And what excites me, I know it excites you as well.
You hope.
I know.
Tell me about my excitement.
It's beautiful to see how Tafelkop is working her magic.
Yes, it's lovely. I mean, and we feel it ourselves.
Yes.
You walk up and down from our cottage to the bigger place, the house, and it's just beautiful and it's peaceful, and so it's really honestly wonderful to be able to start sharing that.
Yeah, and you witness how it helps the person on retreat.
Yes.
It plays into their needs, or in this case, his needs.
And facilitating the quiet and the silence.
Yes.
I think it must be quite difficult to do a silent retreat somewhere where there's noise on the outside, or where you don't have access to beautiful nature. Well, it's not impossible, of course, but I think it does help a lot.
Yeah, and it's beautiful to see that. So the basic principle of a 7-day quiet retreat is exactly what I've just told you. It is a 7-day quiet retreat. The basic program is, there's not a set program. There's a basic rhythm to the day that you can say a little bit more about.
Yeah, I also just want to say, I think there's a lot of misconceptions about a quiet retreat. People often say, I will not be able to sit in silence or be in silence for 7 days. But it's not actually that you are never having a conversation, because the general rule is that you would have a session, a spiritual direction session once a day for half an hour, where you will be talking to your spiritual director, and that
as to what is unfolding for you.
What's opening up, also to help the dynamic of the quiet retreat on. And I think that's important to know that. And the rhythm is usually set by you. Often you would be somewhere where there would be set meal times, and then also set prayer times or meditation times, and that would usually be done in a group if there are more people on retreat, or with the staff. Everybody would then have those quiet times together, and I love that because it sets it sort of paces you through the day, and I find that meaningful even in my normal life to have that.
Every time when we have the meditation sessions, the prayer sessions in such a day, and here by day 3 of the retreat, there's a certain rhythm that sets in. It's like breathing. It's like breathing in, breathing out. It's this gentle movement that the days get.
And I think sometimes the prayer times might be difficult. Sometimes it's something you look forward to. It would be according to where you are and what's happening in your life. I think also just to say that people usually come on a quiet retreat when they are either facing very important decisions, discernment process, and they want to really step out of their normal lives and spend time with God and in silence to discern something, or they might just be going through a very difficult time They might be on the verge of burnout. They need that deep rest that that silence actually makes possible. Or it's just to have a reset to your life, to end a year or to start a year on almost on a new page.
Yeah, and obviously for each person it will be different. What are the motivations? But in broad strokes, it's usually against that backdrop.
Yes. Yeah.
I think often you might enter. You've made a decision to take an annual 7-day quiet retreat. You're on the spiritual journey, and you've decided every year I'm going on a 7-day silent retreat. So you arrive on this retreat ticking the box, I'm now doing my 7-day private retreat. That's what I've set to do this year, and here I am, I'm on my 7-day. And then things open up. And you say, but I didn't think I'll address these matters. But as you said in the Afrikaans recording as well, God is in this process. God is waiting. God is guiding. God is the guide in this process. And it's wonderful to witness how things rise to the surface that you've neglected, forgotten, ignored,
or just didn't get round to addressing.
Yeah.
You're just skimming on the surface of your life, because I think that's the advantage or the beauty of silence, is that it actually allows you to open up, to hear yourself thinking, it's really a huge gift to give yourself.
And when one enters into such a silence, one realizes, actually with a shock, how many distractions we build into our lives. In all ways, not to address issues, but here with the silence, there's this focus. So the basic dynamic of such a retreat, in very broad strokes, general, is obviously you enter into the silence often out of a difficult, or not necessarily difficult, but a busy program, a full daily roster and things, and a lot of appointments and stuff.
Responsibilities.
Yes. So you enter into the silence, and you're carrying something of that energy. You carry that into the retreat. So it takes you about 2 days just to slow down and enter into the silence and let the silence absorb you almost and penetrate you. And once you're in the silence and in that rhythm, you start to address issues. But the beauty is, it's not necessary to wait only until you get to this. God can meet you while you're still winding down as well, but in broad strokes. So you're winding down, you enter into this deep space where you listen and you discern. And then by about day 5, you are starting to prepare to enter, to exit the silence, and then start your daily life and your program again. So that's the basic pattern of such a retreat. And it's impossible to say what will happen when, but you can see that initially it might be difficult to enter into the silence, and often there's a little bit of apprehension as to go back to your life. It's always interesting that when Jesus and his disciples went up the mountain and they had that epiphany there, and the disciples said to Jesus, let's stay here. Let's build huts and stay here. And he said, no, we have to go down again. often in a retreat, it's something of that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think for me personally that the really really deep rest that you can get from that, from I think it's always difficult the first couple of days to surrender the life that you've just left to come into the silence. I mean, all those the issues, the worries, the things that you've left behind. So in that, there's a big element of surrendering and
Yes.
trusting God with your life outside of the silence, for you to get the most benefit from it. And we get it right, and we don't get it right. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not something that we have to do so much as to also just allow what's coming up for you, and that might be part of what you are busy with. So, like you say, it's a very rich and sometimes difficult journey to be on a private retreat, but also you look back on that and you never forget your silent retreats.
No.
There's such a lot of richness that you take from that. Would you say it's necessary to have a 7-day retreat?
I think looking at the dynamic or the dynamics of such a retreat, I would say that would be the ideal. It gives you time to wind down and to prepare that whole pattern. Obviously, any period of silence and stepping out, whether it's a weekend, 3 days, or whatever, it is always good. But the 7-day retreat is, there's time for the process to fully play out. And in that sense, even if, what is that saying, from me to me, from time to time? From time to time, give yourself a 7-day retreat where you really wind down and listen. That's a very, very big part of it.
And I said to George, because we are carrying on with our normal day-to-day life while we have somebody on a quiet retreat, and you actually see how the silence start to
envelop them almost.
Yes, it's almost like a coat that they're carrying. It's a beautiful thing to see, how somebody almost start personifying silence. It's beautiful to witness that.
Yeah. So, just a few notes. Often there's still misconceptions and inquiries about the retreats, and just to share a little bit about that, to demystify it also. So just to share a little bit around that as well.
Have a great week, everybody.
Keep well. Talk again next week.
Bye.